Do you believe in flying saucers? Have you any convincing reasons why science fiction shouldn't one day become reality?
Aliens taking over Capitol Hill, extraterrestrial life, the stuff of fascination. And the current president knows how to work an audience just as much as Hollywood. This time on Air Force One, responding to comments by Barack Obama about the existence of aliens.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do.
It had all started with a former president having a bit of fun on a podcast.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy and they hid it from the President of the United States.
And later clarifying on social media, I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials have made contact with us. Really? But Trump's not one to leave it there, and now we're here, saying, based on the tremendous interest shown, I'll be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life. The US has seen a surge in interest in recent years, even congressional hearings on UFO sightings, including this object seen off the coast of San Diego more than 20 years ago, and testimony from pilots surrounding it.
And to go against the naysayers that it's something on the screen or whatever, I mean, there's 4 sets of human eyeballs. We're all very credible.
It was the late legendary Nevada Senator Harry Reid who dreamed up the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Reports in the US media that the Pentagon had been running a secret multi-million-dollar program to investigate UFOs somewhere between 2007 and 2012. Of course, Nevada being home to the infamous Area 51 Obama was referring to, a highly classified US Air Force facility only 80 miles from Las Vegas and long associated with conspiratorial extraterrestrial explanations.
Conspiracy theories for a long time now have believed has got some kind of downed alien spacecraft they're keeping hidden and secret from the rest of the world, or maybe some aliens held captive or alien bodies from a downed spacecraft.
What are they?
I don't know.
It's not the X-Files, but rather the Epstein files that have caused an implosion recently. The truth is now out there, or partially at least, and so there are those in Congress who'd argue that aliens are a welcome distraction away from that and other parts of US domestic policy right now. Professor Catherine Haymans is the Astronomer Royal for Scotland and is one of the world's leading cosmologists. Thank you for joining us, Professor. Donald Trump announced today that he's directed the Pentagon to release US government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, calling it extremely important. How important is it in your opinion?
Well, to be honest with you, Francis, I'm unsure what he's expecting to learn this time round that he didn't learn when he asked the same question in his first term as president. And the Pentagon concluded in 2024 that there was no evidence that the US had any visitors from space or had any communication with aliens. So I'm not sure what he's expecting to find this time round, but I'm interested to see if anything does come out of it.
There are many different opinions and scientific probabilities surrounding this. So what's your understanding as to whether we're the only life form in the universe?
The answer to that question is it's vanishingly small, that we are the only place where life has formed. And let's just have a think about the numbers here. So we're on planet Earth going around our sun, but our sun is just one of 200 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy. And as astronomers, we can use telescopes to go and look to see if there are planets going around other stars. And sure enough, we find them. On average, there's one planet going around every star. So that means there's over 200 billion planets in our own Milky Way galaxy, and that's just one galaxy. Across the entire universe that we can see, there's up to 1 trillion galaxies out there. And if our theories about how the universe was made are right, then our universe is infinite. It goes on and on forever. That means an infinite number of galaxies, infinite number of stars, infinite number of planets, for sure, for sure. This can't be the only place that life has formed. So if that's your question, are we alone in the universe? The probability is that no, we're not alone, but we haven't found evidence yet to be sure one way or the other.
I know time plays a big part in this, doesn't it? So Barack Obama says not, but has alien life ever visited Earth or made contact with us? Is that probable in your opinion? And how does time play into that as well?
Yeah, so I mean, if you think about our own planet Earth, it's 4.5 billion years old. And if we looked at the life of our planet as a 24-hour clock, so it was born at midnight, then only in the very, very last second of that 24-hour clock would human civilization have evolved. So the time that life exists on these planets is very small. To then be able to build spaceships and the ability to sustain life as you travel through the inhospitable environment of space from one star to another to go and visit another planet, it's extremely difficult. It's certainly not something that we can do right now. And I think it must be very difficult. Otherwise, we probably would have heard from other aliens at some point. Now, this isn't not to say that we're not listening. So astronomers have got radio telescopes across the globe that are listening to see if there are any signals from space, alien civilizations trying to contact us. Nothing has been heard yet. But our own radio signals are also going out into space to see if anyone's listening to what we're sending out.
What success have we had then of trying to find evidence of extraterrestrial life or life anywhere other than Earth?
Our best chances of looking for life at the moment are in our own solar system. There is the Perseverance rover on Mars. It's very cute. It kind of looks like the Wall-E robots. And it's currently chundering around the Jezero crater on Mars. So back in the early stages when Mars was formed, it had water flowing on its surface. And the Jezero crater, we're fairly sure it was once filled with water. So the Perseverance rover has been looking for evidence that life might have formed there on Mars at the same sort of time when it was forming here on Earth. And there is some tentative evidence of fossilized remains of very, very small microbial and bacterial life. So it was very small fossils on Mars. We don't know for sure. We'd have to return those samples from Mars to be absolutely sure. But that's some evidence that there there has been the opportunity for life to form in our own solar system. And there are also 2 missions planned to look for life further away in our solar system. Right now, there is a European mission and an American mission heading towards the moons of Jupiter. One of them is called Europa. The moon's called Europa. There's a good chance that life might have formed there because there is water there. And one of the missions is going to be sampling, hopefully, some of the geyser spray that comes out of this moon to see if there's any evidence for the building blocks of life on that planet.
If we did go a little further afield then and somehow make contact with more advanced alien life forms, would it even benefit humanity, or could they just eat us as a kind of food source and move on?
Well, if they really wanted, I would be surprised if they wanted to eat us. You know, the closest star to us, if you could travel as fast as light, the closest star to us would take you at least 4 years, and you have to travel through the vacuum of space, incredibly inhospitable. So they've probably got a food source on board. They probably wouldn't need to eat us, Francis, when they got here. I think, you know, if we did find evidence that there was life out there in the universe, that would be incredibly profound. You know, it is one of the biggest questions that we have is, are we alone in the universe? Are we special? And that would be incredibly profound if we did find that alien life. I'd like to think that we would share in our culture. So back in the 70s, the 2 Voyager probes were sent out into our solar system, and they took beautiful images of the giant gas planets Jupiter and Saturn as they went past. But the vision was always that these probes would carry on sailing out of our solar system after they'd taken the photographs of the planets on their way. And on board, they have what's known as the golden records. These are they're actually golden, and they have pictures on board of what human life looks like, and they also carry music with them. And I love the idea that that's really what we want to share with the rest of the universe, is our culture and our creativity and our arts. Lots of beautiful music on board. My favourite is a Chuck Berry song.
And is that the most likely way that alien life form would know that we exist? You know, if we weren't making contact with them, how would anything out there in the universe know that people on Earth exist?
Yeah, so on planet Earth, we emit a lot of radio waves. So we communicate to each other through radio waves. That's how your mobile phone works. And that will be sending out into space. The radios don't just travel across Earth, they also go out. And so that's probably the best way that alien life would be able to detect us here on planet Earth. Another thing that they might look for is the chemical composition of our atmosphere. We call this biosignatures. So we're looking for things like water and oxygen, which we know are important for life. So there are lots of signatures that we can look for in the chemical composition of the planets that could indicate that life's there. And it could be that some aliens are looking back at our pale blue dots, noticing that we have got a lot of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, methane, oxygen, water, and they're probably looking at us and going, yeah, that would be a good place for life to form.
Perhaps not as bonkers as some people have suggested, then.
I think, you know, we loved. Right, scientists, Francis, we are all science fiction fans. We've all grown up with Star Trek, and we love thinking about what wonderful, beautiful things could be out there in the universe. And, you know, when I go out at night and I look up at the night sky, all of the beautiful stars that are up there, I do give them a little wave, Francis, you know, just in case there's someone on a planet orbiting those stars, looking back at our star and giving me a wave back.
Professor Catherine Haymans, thank you for speaking to us today.
You're welcome.